Okay, new clip from here. Back to the car. I don't know what I'm going to call this set of clips, but as I said, I've happened to get a particular old bag of potting mix, you know, on the last legs down, about 1/3 left in the bag or something. Put a handful around every pot out the front, and oh god, it was amazing. The plants really responded really well. And but then, just as we learnt what it was, you couldn't buy the brand in the local shops anymore. So I've been going around, and as I said last week, I went down to Bunnings, which I'm going to have to go back to tomorrow. I went down the aisle, big league long aisle, all these bags after bags after bags, and then I started looking at price, of course. Maybe that was part of the factor involved, I don't know. Anyway, I found the bag, and I definitely remember making sure that it had the actual brand name on the bag, and it was the right one. Then I went off to look at rhubarbs and pitcher plants, and came back with a new strain of rhubarb, Sydney Crimson, I think it was called, and a pitcher plant and a fly trap. But I came back from the right hand side now, along this very, very long aisle. Came to what I thought were the same bags on the pallet, same sort of style of writing and everything, and it wasn't until I got home and I'd already potted up the plants I realised, hang on, this isn't the brand I was reading, you know. I think that's what they're doing these days. You know, once someone has a good brand, they try and buy into the other person's brand that way, in a way. But yeah, so I've got to go back, and now I'm getting good results. And what's amazing is every time I water the plants, the rhubarb gets redder. But it's only when I water the plants. It's not like they're getting redder from the sunlight. It doesn't seem to be. You know, from this sunlight we're having here, it seems like they get the full days of sunlight. I water them for 20 minutes to half an hour, and after that you can actually visibly see that they get redder. And it's only every time you do the watering. So, you know, if you water them again, they will get even redder, you know, sort of, that's what I'm saying. Which is rather strange. It implies that the active ingredient that's doing the reddening is probably water soluble, and it's probably being taken up by the roots. But the other thing is, as I pointed out the other day, is all this potting mix seems to be like this. It's not even bark chip. It seems to be like the actual heartwood or the pine chips of the thing, and that's supposed to have a nitrogen drawdown effect, and yet these plants don't seem to be suffering from nitrogen drawdown. So I'm saying, well, there's something not quite right here, because I have experience with sawdust and things like that, and it does have a nitrogen drawdown effect. So why doesn't this potting mix that's almost big chunky heartwood sawdust in a way, big chunky sawdust in a way, if you call it that, how come that's not having a nitrogen drawdown? There must be either something replacing the drawdown, matching the drawdown or something, and yet it sort of doesn't really say it's got any added fertiliser or something like that. So it's a bit of a mystery. Now, I saw one of these buckets a few years ago with a bird in it at some other place, unless it's a checking thing for fruit fly or something, but no. I think someone's doing that on purpose. Actually, they're putting these things, because the other one was blue too. Maybe the colour blue attracts whatever target, prey or vector they're looking for, or something like that. I don't know, it just makes it easier for them to see or something, I don't know. Or maybe it makes them easier to see something in the water that changes, I don't know. But anyway, interesting. But that's it for this. Slowly easing ourselves into the season, but hopefully I think I've picked one thing I'm going to do where that's going to be the beginning of the 4K, and if that works out, we'll. But I'm leaving that as a surprise for our friend overseas, whose name I've forgotten. It's not Ev, it's the other one. I've forgotten it. I'm just not thinking straight. It's been a weird summer. We haven't even had a 46-degree day, and we've had hot and cold, you know, and that's the worst. You go from hot days to cold days, you know, almost going into winter weather. Like it went down to like 17 degrees or something after being in the low 40s, and that's just not good. I mean, you can get used to summer. As I said, you know, if it went on for an extra 6 weeks, we'd be like up in the Northern Territory. We'd be throwing ourselves off the top of tall buildings and things like that. But it's just the relentless hot cold. It sort of it just sucks it just sucks the life out of you. So anyway, over and out for now. I hope you had a good thing, but as I said, we're up against it this year. I don't think I try to look at it from a positive point of view. We might learn something from all that dolomite and other stuff. We might suddenly discover that bitumen's the go. You know, they all germinate en masse around a bit of bitumen, because I have had experience with paraffin wax helping, mainly because I think it helps the mycorrhizae, the Generica australis, you know, the yellow fungus one, to grow in the soil. So I have had en masse germination, which I have filmed, which is in well, cartridge or canister, you want to call it, in the lockup. If we can get to the lockup this year, hopefully we can. And that looks really good in the monitor here, but I'm dying to find out what 4K looks like, you know. So anyway, but we just haven't got into the season. As I said, this is going to go on for another probably 8 weeks before it dies in the arse, and then we go straight into the 3rd week of May, and hopefully we'll have a diaphanous mist day, which maybe the 4K will pick up properly. We had a bit of an experiment last year through the pine forest, and as I was saying, you know, it picked up some of the mist, but didn't pick up the finer mist sort of thing. So maybe in 4K, being 4 times as, you know, intense in quality, it will actually pick up the secondary mist, which will make it absolutely glorious, I think, especially if we go through Profolia country with that. So I'm just hoping all the work we've done with colour and everything else, finding the right shutter that gets us the best look and everything else. So colours are accurate, you know, you got the lovely sumptuous, you know, everything. So hopefully, and maybe a bit of drone footage, but as I said, I've only got like 3 or 4 goes with the drone, so I reckon it's going to be, you know, I've got to pick my moments, and I'm thinking I've basically picked 3, maybe 4 at a squeeze, and if it busts up on the 2nd go, well, you won't see the 3rd or the 4th, unfortunately, but it'll be a taste. And maybe if it works out, we can get a better drone next year or something, you know, for the Stirling Ranges or something like that, or whenever we get to the Stirling Ranges. Okay, over and out. See ya.